That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. Can we officially say we're in the dog days of summer now? Like, are we at that point? Can we finally do it? Like, time is an abstract concept for me right now. I just need Notre Dame football back. I don't know where you're at, but it's supposed to be like 100 degrees here all week. So we're going to be baking. If you can't call it the dog days summer now, when can you? So welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to, there's a new dynamic surrounding this whole Notre Dame football program. I'm telling you, things have changed. The expectations have changed. There's a lot of change going on with the Notre Dame football program. And how you think about Notre Dame football's got to change. Gonna change. Like the narratives here that we've been operating under for like 25 years, they're all shifting. And we need to pay attention to that. Really, really good things happening in the program right now. So let's get our level footing here, starting out the week on a good note. There's a lot to like about where this program's at. I'm going to go over a couple things specifically that are standing out to me. But the overall narrative to me right now, I'm just thinking about how the way we've all been processing Notre Dame football has got to shift. And it's not a shift because we want it to. It's not a shift because in our minds we're ready for something different or a different mental approach to how we think about Notre Dame football. The shift is warranted because of where the program's at and the work that this staff and everybody involved is putting into it. So these are exciting times in Notre Dame football land. And I'm excited about where it's going to go. And the anchor of all this is the ultimate college football anchor of all time. Talent, 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 talent. And Notre Dame's acquiring a lot of it very quickly. And so that is the engine that's driving a lot of this shift in my mind of how we're all going to process through Notre Dame football. It always comes back to talent. It's always been that way. It's always going to be that way. Like, you want good culture. You want good coaches. You want like the talent. Talent, 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 talent. And Notre Dame's starting to stack a lot of damn talent. And so there's some specifics I want to get into. Anybody that wants to join on a Monday, feel free. Great to see the regular crowd. Good early morning crowd here. It's good to see you guys. A lot of the regulars. You guys are great. Thank you for being here. Dr. John, I'm in and out of the chat today, but got Johnny ranting on the big screen. Well, God bless you. There's a start to your week. Mark. John, I'm back from a 2-week vacation in Florida. The one thing I've learned, there are a lot of Notre Dame fans in Florida. Yeah, I bring extra Notre Dame like shirts to wear when I'm in Florida because it's like this, it's like a beacon you're sending out to everyone else. And then it's like, it's just kind of fun when I'm not around the Chicago area and it's Notre Dame-y in that area. And that's like no big deal. But to get out of state is kind of fun, man. And you wear your Notre Dame stuff. You're in SEC territory or whatever, or ACC territory, depending on where you're at, and you find other Notre Dame people. It's just a fun thing. I've always done that. And you know me, I'm always looking to run my mouth. So I like seeing these other Notre Dame people, and then you figure out where they're from, if they're not from Florida, but they're visiting. I always go out at night trying to wear Notre Dame stuff. It sparks conversation. You find like-minded people. Or the other thing, this is almost more fun. This is almost more fun to find the people that hate Notre Dame that will say something to you when you're wearing your Notre Dame stuff out of state. That's almost more fun because it sparks a different discussion. But I'll be walking around sometimes and I'll have just some people be like, oh, Notre Dame, get out of here, whatever. That always sparks a good conversation. So let's have a little fun today. Anybody that wants to join, I'll put the link in the description here. Oh, man. B. Plants finally able to join live. No work this week. Johnny, been working out? I was trying to work out like in the summer hard. And then this last week, having that like community festival thing I was working. I'll get into that. It's the most interesting social experiment of all time. So I wasn't able to stay with the gym routine this last week, and I'm sure I burnt a ton of calories with all the walking, looking for rule breakers here at the old friendship festival situation. We'll get into that. Angela. It's good to see you. Always glad to have a Rudiger in the chat. Here's the thing, man. I always tell you guys, if we could just get to 4th of July, the lights at the end of the tunnel. I've always said that is my summer marker. That if you could just get to the 4th of July, you sit there with a beer, you look at those fireworks, and then within a few weeks, football's back. Like, that's the ultimate summer, like, marking point for me is 4th of July. Because if you can make it that far, you got a few more weeks. And then I don't even think it's August when camp start. I think it's still in the end of July this year that they can't, unless I'm mistaken, somebody correct me. But I don't even think you got to get to August. You're going to get Notre Dame back. So you got a few more weeks and then we're back. Here's the other thing, man. This is hitting me hard right now. It's hitting me hard how long this offseason has been. Like, you could get by for a while entertaining ourselves, following the recruiting, whatever, trying to get through the cold months. Then you want to get to blue and gold and you're looking to that, and then that ends, and then you're looking at a recruiting swing to get you through. It's starting to hit me just how long this offseason has been, and on rough terms. It isn't just the time, you know what I mean? So we were done on what, December 9th? Think about it. We were done, I think that playoff announcement show was December 9th, unless I'm mistaken. Early December. We've been done since then. Think about it. Not even you didn't make the playoff, but you have a big bowl game to prepare for. That's the first week of January, and it builds you another month of like something to talk about with the game. No, it was just over. It was just over, man. And it ended in such a frustrating way. And so it's one thing that the ramp has been so long to get back to football. But it's another thing of the dynamics of why. It's like it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And every time you think about it, you're mad. So it's like this has been a particularly long off season with very specific like challenges in your mind too about where this is all at, how we got here, how the last season ended, what you got to change, all the pressure on Notre Dame to deliver this year. Breaking down the schedule every day. Like, we're almost there. We're almost there. And so, I mean, everybody gives me a hard time because I say we're in the dog days. Like, anytime we're not playing football, we're in the dog days. Hey, we're in it now. So get to the 4th of July here. Watch your fireworks. Just back up, Terry. Watch your fireworks. And know in a few short weeks, Notre Dame football is going to be back. And so I can't wait. Thank you guys for all helping us get through this summer. And so here's what I'm trying to plan. We got the 4th of July. I think that's Saturday. Okay. The following weekend, I'm going to be out of state visiting some relatives. I think when I get back from that, we need to start getting night shows going. Maybe we'll do some night shows. Some of them we want to do on Patreon. Some of them we'll do here, but I think we're going to start mixing it up a little bit. And so some of them will be here, find a different mix of people here with some night weekend shows and some stuff just for the Patreon folks over there too. So we're going to slowly build up this ramp to camp. And so when we hit it, we can hit it hard. Okay. Sharky, we want it all. We want it now. In Marcus, we trust. Like, I'm telling you what, you guys, I have never felt the way I feel about Notre Dame football right now in my adult life. I've been saying it for a while now. Finally, for the first time in my adult life, I can honestly say all parts of this program are doing their part, pulling from the same direction. Like, it's the first time in my adult life I felt like Notre Dame's hitting on all cylinders. They're hitting on all cylinders. Like, you got a good recruiting staff. You got the GM doing a good job. Like Carter Ullman, everybody's recruiting. The NIL part has you in the listen. What you're ending up with here is the haves and the have-nots. And it's very, very kind of clear where the line is. You have the haves and the have-nots with this talent thing and who can even afford to be in it for the top 200 players or whatever. Notre Dame's in that have category. That's beautiful to see. You have the academic side working with the football side to be able to figure out what guys could get in and how they could succeed at Notre Dame. You have Pete, everybody behind the scenes with the administrative side trying to help Freeman and this operation. Martin in the front office, that more NFL-shaped front office, all this. For the first time in my adult life, I can honestly say all angles of this are working together. That is rare at Notre Dame. It's rare. One of my problems I've had in the past is this has been a Notre Dame complaint of mine for a long time up till the dynamic we have now. Anytime the powers that be at Notre Dame, whether it was Captain Jack or whoever, and they're talking, they would talk about, we want to be elite at football. Like we want to win the title. That's the goal at Notre Dame. Like you would hear that narrative over and over again because this is Notre Dame and that's what you have to say. But I always had a problem because the powers that be at Notre Dame would say our goal is always to win the championship. But I didn't feel like they were doing the actions it took to make that a reality. And it always frustrated me because it's like, oh, our goal is to win a championship. And then I would point to 5 things on a list and go, well, if you want to do that, you need to do these things. And you're not really willing to do it. And so now that is all changed. Now that is all changed. Swan dog. Notre Dame goes 11-1. The only loss is to Rice. I'm going to lose my mind. But I'm telling you, there's something with that second game, Notre Dame under Freeman. It's been a challenge. And you got all of this. You got the sleepy old, you're going to have all of it for Rice. It's going to be the sleepy home game at 2:30 or whatever against an opponent that doesn't excite anyone or whatever. You got to be over. You got to totally be over the sleepwalking thing. You got to be over. You got to be over it. Brian, do you have pushback on that? What are you hinting at there? When I say the academic side working with the athletic side, that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, we have no standards. You can't read? Come on down to Notre Dame. That's not what I mean by that. Some of that, like, I don't know if that's where people's minds go when I say the academic side working with the athletic side. Maybe you think, oh, that just means they'll let anybody in now and that Notre Dame degree is toilet paper or whatever. No, that could be as simple as you're in the portal window and the staff needs to know if a guy can get into school or not. And instead of it taking 2.5 weeks, it takes 2.5 days. Like when I say the academic side working with the athletic side, some of that is what I mean. It isn't like, oh, yeah, we'll just let anybody in here now, whatever, like everyone else. No, it could even just be that turnaround time of figuring out if a guy can get in or not. It takes 2 days instead of 2 weeks. Because when you're in the portal, you got to move fast, right? Like stuff like that. Figuring out we're going to have a guy in here. He's going to be an early enrollee. We want him to be able to not get overwhelmed. So how do we get him to do classes early so that you can spread out the class load, accommodating for that? They're really good with having like tutors and like a program to make sure these guys could get going and stay in good standing. So I can't tell you how big of a difference it makes when the academic side likes the football operation and wants to work with them and not against them. There have been some dynamics in my adult life in Notre Dame where I know the academic side did not like the football side, resented that those guys are like popular or that they're treated different or whatever, resented it and went out of their way to not help the football side. So it's all different now. It's all different now. And Marcus Freeman deserves a lot of credit because his personality and all sides of it, the work ethic side of it, the relationship building side of it, that has a lot to do with where this is all at, and the doors opening and people wanting to help you, people being willing to listen to you when you say, here's what we need to be a little better here, trying to get things done. So they're doing a really, really good job right now. It's like the modern golden age of Notre Dame football. You've never seen talent like this in this program in the last 30 years. You have never seen talent like this in this program getting stacked class after class after class in the last 25 years. You've never seen it. You've had some good teams. You've had some good players. You've never seen Notre Dame stack this level of depth of talent in multiple classes, portal cycles, whatever. You've never seen it. You've never seen it because it has never existed. This is a new dynamic. It's a new day. The realities around this program are different. And you know what? The expectations and the standard that we have for them needs to change. It isn't, it's always been title or bust, but the proximity to bust or title has always, there's been a big range. Things are changing, man. You got to expect big things out of this team with the talent that they have here and what they're building. And so it's an exciting time in Notre Dame land. And we'll get into some of the good day, Johnny 3-star. Why do I gotta be a 3-star? I think he's unranked. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those guys at the bottom of your recruiting list who doesn't have a star ranking. And when it says what number you're ranked, it says NA, not applicable. I'm off the reservation on the low end. Renee, my main man. Miss you, Renee. I know you guys are busy. Liam, I see you. We'll bring you up. If Notre Dame loses, it'll only be to BYU, 9 p.m. game. It's it's gonna be. I mean, here's my thing on that. Okay, John's the next O-line coach. Yeah, I'll show him how it's done. Put me on a sled. Here's my issue with the BYU game and people saying that may be a game Notre Dame's at risk to drop. Here's why I have zero patience for that. For the first time in my entire life, it's the easiest 6-game stretch I've seen Notre Dame have to start a year that I can ever remember. Let's be Johnny's an RKG. Yeah, you know what I say. You don't want no RKGs with body types like John Kennedy's. You want MVPs. All right? You don't want no RKG that looks like me. So here's the thing with BYU. You have the most favorable start to a season I can ever remember in Notre Dame's history. The older you are, the further you go back, you'll remember Notre Dame's always had front-loaded schedules. And when you go even further back, you would start out the year like with Michigan and Michigan State and Penn State and Purdue all in the first month before they get into Big Ten play. Like, my childhood was a lot of that. Like, you're opening with Michigan, like Michigan State, Penn State, Purdue. Those were all like September schedules, like all in a row because you had to catch them before they get into conference play. So, like you used to have that. This is the easiest 6-game stretch you're ever going to have. Notre Dame is literally going to be favored by double digits in every single one of those games. Where that connects to BYU is you have a half of a season to work out all the kinks. Oh, we need the O-line to gel. You got 6 games for the O-line to gel. You have all the time in the world for Carr to get the rhythm with all the new receivers and figure out who could do what. And for Juwan to figure out how you want to play with those running backs and who you want to do what. You have all the time in the world to figure all of this stuff out in games that you have a major talent advantage in. So to have that, and then you're going to go to BYU and it's like, what, we're going to lose the first real challenge we have of the year. We're just going to lose because it's on the road at BYU or whatever. Unacceptable. You have 6 weeks to figure out every aspect of your team and get it exactly right, peaking at the right time to go play Salani Kataki. You got zero excuse. I'm going to lose my mind. You wait through half the year for you to play a big game and you're going to lay an egg in Provo? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? So if you go out to BYU and you fail or whatever, it's a failure on the entire coaching staff and Freeman. You can't, the concept that you have a 6-game ramp up, the most favorable one I've ever seen this program have in my adult life. And then you're going to what? Go and let BYU beat you? Unbelievable. And the other thing is, it's like, people like BYU's quarterback, Brockmeyer, and we were in recruiting for him and whatever. And like, they're going to try hard and they're going to be properly motivated because Sataki's the perfect cultural fit for BYU. They're going to be fully motivated. Now, I don't care. Texas Tech beat these guys' ass multiple times last year. Like, why am I supposed to I am not trying to take that game for granted. I'm just saying, if ever there was a Notre Dame team that should be operating at all, clicking on all cylinders, heading into a big game moment, it should be this one, because you got 6 games to figure it all out where you're going to be favored by double digits. So I have no patience for you to go to BYU and struggle when you have a 6-game run up to prepare for whatever you want. Okay, so I don't know. That's where I'm at on it. November 7th is the game of the year. Well, it certainly is. The narrative there is going to be really, really interesting. Are you going to end up in a position where Notre Dame and Miami are both undefeated? They both should be. If you want to be honest about it, they should. Both of these teams should be undefeated heading into this ball game. And that's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. That's one thing. But the interesting thing is, what's it going to be like if one team has 1 loss and the other's undefeated? What's it going to look like if they both have 1 loss? Is that a playoff elimination game again, given how weak both of those schedules are? Whoever gets their second loss is out again? So, like, there could be a lot of leverage here and pressure shifting. If one team's undefeated, one has 1 loss. If the other one gets 2 losses, I think they're out because that schedule is so weak. Although Miami won't be out because they'll win the ACC and get the automatic bid or whatever. But I'm saying the pressure in that moment is going to vary depending on who is undefeated or has a loss. I'm telling you. If Notre Dame loses 2 games, they're out again, and it's unacceptable. You're out. It's not an option. 11-1 is the lowest this could be. So 10-2 is not an option again. So this is a big moment. It's a big moment. And so in the whole, listen, I respect the BYU thing. It's a very, very healthy college football culture with good leadership. They try hard. They're never going to give up. Like, it's all those things you want. It's just Notre Dame overall as a program is operating at a different wavelength than BYU. BYU is never going to be able to recruit like Notre Dame and do all that kind of stuff. Notre Dame just needs to be at an a higher level, and you need to be fully prepared for that moment. And there's no excuse not to be. Absolutely no excuse. So I don't know, man. I'm going to be in South Bend. You guys be nice. We'll be nice. That's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Look at this. Bobo. Liam, I see you. Summer Liam, you're coming up. What will be the excuses from the chat if we lose again in September? It's that there is no angle in any of those September games anybody could use other than just you completely flopped and failed. I don't understand what it could be. What could it, if you drop one of these games in September, what would be an excuse that's okay or whatever? Like, I don't know. Like, what, half the team gets hurt? Your like car and half your O-line gets hurt. Like, I don't know. Catfish, jump on in, man. It's good. Jump on in. Crying belly. So yeah, there is no acceptable way to talk about a loss in September. It all needs to be totally over. That whole thing needs to be over. Like done. Crying. Outside of recruiting, why do people think the program is at all different? BK got whooped in the Natty too. BK went 10-2, 9-3, and 8-4. Well, first off, outside of the recruiting, you're saying that as if that's not the most overall important thing that there is. Like the way you're saying that, it's like you're kind of downplaying. Like you need good coaching and whatever, but still at the end of the day, talent. Give me the talent. So you're saying outside of recruiting as if that's not the biggest, most important part of it, which it is. Talent. It's not the most important thing. Well, what else is? Having Brian Kelly's leadership? Is that what it is? Like Brian Kelly's mentorship here? To me, give me the talent. It's the other thing is if you're saying that's not the most important thing, here would be my comeback. Whatever you're going to say is the most important thing, I bet is easier to fix or get or acquire than to rope together like multiple top 3 recruiting classes and portal cycles. Kelly knew how to rally a group of men in a golf scramble at a charity outing. You're correct. You are right. You are right. He did know how to rally a group of men around the golf course to win the scramble. And then literally afterwards, when they do the donation and the silent auction, they're trying to raise the money. After the scramble, the guy wanted to be in a back room with the door closed, left alone, away from the public that he was there to raise money with. You can't beat it, man. I'm at this event where the whole point of it is to raise money for the football. But I don't want to talk to anybody. Leave me alone so I can eat my steak. Okay, you're kind of missing the point here, buddy. And the funny thing is, it happened at LSU too. That's the funniest thing. It happened at LSU too. The exact same thing happened. I laughed my ass off the first time I heard from somebody that has connections to people in that LSU country club circle. And they told me, yeah, dude, man, he just does not want to be bothered. Even when we're at these events to raise money to help him, he couldn't be bothered. I've never laughed so hard. I've never laughed so hard. And so I don't know, man. It is crying. I don't know if you're going out of your way to be contrarian. But there's, if you can't see how much has changed around this program, on and off the field, I can't help you. Now, here's where it comes full circle. You got to pay it off by winning a championship. I'm talking about all these good things and all these positive changes, and everybody's pulling from the same end of the rope, and you've never been able to layer together this much recruiting at once and all this talent of it. Yeah, you got to get a championship. That's the overall point of my talk here on a Monday morning. Crying's right. This all really does not mean that much unless you win a title. I'm just saying all of the conditions to make it feasible to win a title are there more than they've been in the last 25 years. I see it, but Freeman is absolutely disappointing coaching-wise. Well, guess this is a big year then. This is a big year for him. And I also, here's the other thing. Whenever that comes up, who would you have wanted in here that you would have trusted to do a better job with all this that was available and wanted to be at Notre Dame? It isn't enough to just say, oh, I don't like Freeman because we've lost to Marshall and Northern or whatever. You got to tell me who else you would have rather hired that you think could have done as good a job and then better than Freeman has. Because I know some people in here were like, oh, maybe you should go hire Luke Fickell, who has the motivational capabilities of a rock. Like who else would it have been? There's no one, but that's not the point. It's kind of a big point. If you're arguing this, what are you arguing against yourself? I don't know. Like you're saying that's not the point. It's a big point. It's a big point. So, but yeah, the pressure's on Marcus Freeman. Like, I don't know what you think I'm going to do here, crying Belly. You think they're going to lose a game in September and I'm going to make an excuse for Freeman with this roster and schedule? Absolutely not. The pressure is ramping up. The pressure is ramping up. Somebody else, like if the debates, Kelly and Freeman record-wise, they're the same and all this stuff. Here's the other thing, too. And I know this matters to some people less than others. When you look at non-competitive losses for Notre Dame, where like you just no-show and you're just like, it's a blowout, you just no-show, you're not playing football today, that matters to me too. There has not been one game in the Freeman era, even the bad ones they lost, where it was just non-competitive. We're not even trying here. Like just blown off the field. You're not interested in playing in a big game. Like you're not interested in playing in a game. We're not competitive. That doesn't happen under the Freeman era. They've lost some terrible games, especially at home. But there's been none of them where you just looked like you were totally uninterested the whole time and got blown off the field. That's a difference. That's a difference. I'll never forget Miami 17. I'll never forget Big House 19. Those are two of the biggest embarrassments of my Notre Dame life. That Miami 17 and Big House 19, where you just absolutely no-showed, had no interest in playing in the biggest games of the year. I mean, you still had USC on the schedule. I'll take that back. So maybe the second biggest game of the year, those are like unacceptable. So I don't know. Somebody's got a case of the Mondays crying. John, you say there's no excuse, but you know Catfish. Oh, he's calling you guys out by name. There's no excuse, but you know Catfish, Leah, Renee, and the damage control guys would be in here saying, who do you want instead? It's so annoying. I'm just saying, man. It's crying. It's okay to where we're at in the summer. It's okay to say, you know what, man, Notre Dame's doing a good job. I don't know, like, why can't we just sit there for a minute and appreciate for once they're checking every box that I have. For once, I'm repeating it. For once in my adult life, Notre Dame is checking every box I need them to check on and off the field. That has never happened before, and that is new. So, but I'm prepared to judge Freeman harshly. You got to have a good year, and you can't lose any dumb games. All of that is true. But where I'm at is I want to let it be known that my personal list of what would it take for Notre Dame to be routinely ultra competitive year, they're checking every box for the first time in my life, man. Okay? They're checking every box. And that's impressive to me. Okay? That's impressive to me. They got to deliver, though. $5 holler. John, I need a shirt that says RKG with the body like me. And I need it. Tony says, we're heading into the dog days. Oh, you're in them now. It's, Sly. Good morning, Always Irish Nation. 69 days till we invade Lambeau. 69. Does anybody remember Billy Madison when they're reading the book or whatever? And it's literally like they're in first grade and the teacher's like, okay, kids, open up your book to page 69. He goes, 69. But none of the kids get the joke. Oh my God. I love that movie. So immature. I defend BK, Andrew Gilmore. Okay, Brian. Geez, man. I'm telling you, no matter what I say, some people are determined to not let me be in a good mental space with Notre Dame. I actually appreciate you guys. Like some of you will not allow John to have this morning where you're thinking all positive. God bless you. Good morning, boys. John, I'm glad to see you survived the carnival. Yeah, as everybody know, I spent the last week working like the community festival here. They give me a little walkie-talkie and they said, John, your job is to look for anything or anybody that looks like they're up to no good or it looks weird or questionable or dangerous or they're doing something stupid. The entire week, was me with an earpiece and a little walkie-talkie saying, I'm walking behind these teens and they look like they're up to no good. I'm following them to make sure. So we had people always do ask, what happens at these festivals? I did some golf cart rides with some drunk ladies that drank too much, couldn't get to their car. So yeah, they pile them on a golf cart. We drive them to their car. They don't drive home. They usually have somebody else with them. But we'll get them out of there from the beer concert area and drive them to their car, get them out of there. Teenage fights is the big thing. You got a bunch of those at one of these community fests. The teenage fights are tough. I'm going to say this. Multiple years doing this, I've learned the site, like how it goes. It isn't even the guys, it's the girls. The guys more like puff out their chest, and there's a lot of talking about like who's tougher or whatever that I'll see going on. A lot of running their mouths with the guys. The girls, the teenage girls, they do not care. They just fight. I honestly kind of respect it. They do not care. They just fight. The guys, man, they're the ones talking. The girls just get to business. One hand on the weave and the other hand punching you in the face. They do not give a crap. They do not care. So, spent some time having to break up some girl fights there, trying not to get punched on TikTok right in the middle of it. So you got a lot of that. So, but yeah, I was genuinely impressed that the girls don't mess around. They just go fight late at night, man. They just want to hash it out. Always Irish Senior, what's going on? Good to see you. So the girls there just fight. They do not care. And so it's so it's tough. But I did the iPhone thing where it tracks your steps, averaging 27,000 a day from Wednesday through Sunday. And I admit that like my legs are sore. And so I was averaging 27,000 steps a day, just moving the concert venue and then the rides and then the beer tent and then the parking area. Every different place we were going looking for trouble. So I admit it shows you if you're a little out of shape, but averaging 27,000. So I'm trying to get into better shape there with the legs. So yeah, fun time at the carnival. So get yourself a corn dog. What else did I highlight here? Brian, but oh man, I'm telling you, you guys are determined to be negative here. Okay. But we don't know how good the talent actually is, right? Okay. So let's play this out. If that's how this Monday's going to go, let's play it out. Okay? We don't know how good the talent actually is, right? Okay, let's go with that theory. John, do you like a corn dog? I ate a corn dog, but I just put a little ketchup on it. That's all. That's all. But man, I'm telling you, you can spend your whole life savings eating at the carnival. I tried not to do that. We don't actually, then I'm going to go to the calls. Liam's coming up first. He's been waiting. We don't know how good the talent actually is, right? Okay, let's go with that theory of like, we really like what we have in the portal. We really like what we're doing with recruiting, but we don't know how good the talent actually is. If that's the dynamic, that's always going to be the dynamic, right? Like whether you have a 5-star laden class or a RKG class, you're always going to say, we don't actually know how good the talent is, right? So then do you think the odds are better that the talent's going to be good if you have the number 2 recruiting class compared to 17? Like if I agree with you and we're rolling with, we don't actually know how good the talent is, I would much rather not know and have what the experts think is a top 3 or 4 recruiting class than we don't know and it's a 15 or 17 recruiting class. Where do I think the odds are going to be best that it is going to work out with good players? The higher the recruiting class. And sure, you're going to say, oh, Ben Morrison was a 3-star. Look how he turned out. Leonard Moore is a 3-star. You're going to be able to find those. But overall, I think there's less risk the higher your recruiting class is that the guys aren't going to pan out. So like that is a moving structure that would be there. Even if you had all RKGs, you're going to go, we don't know how good they are, right? I'd rather take my chances on not knowing on a top 3 class than a 17 class. Man, it's tough around here. It's tough around here. So I don't know. This is the ultimate prove it year, literally. Yeah, it certainly is. Certainly is. Andrew, I defend BK a lot, but it's become a crutch to always say things are better with Freeman. He is getting unprecedented support. There are no excuses anymore, especially with this schedule. I would argue he's getting unprecedented support because they're doing unprecedented things in the football program in my adult life. Like, to me, he's getting unprecedented support. Like, yeah, because they're doing things different. Everything about the program looks different. $5 Bobo. Freeman is better than BK, but he isn't that much better, as is purported. Crying is right. And in a 2 or 4 team era, Freeman would be on the hot seat. Go 12-0. Man, this is a tough crowd. John, call him when we have some unusual suspects today, like Karen Belly defending BK and trashing Freeman. Oh, man, I'm just glad you guys care. I'm just glad you guys care. But there are no excuses this year. Are you outside your mind? Do you really think, what am I going to come in here and make excuses when you lose in September with this schedule? You're out of your mind. So I don't know. And then people saying, oh, if you don't do well or whatever, Freeman's on the hot seat. He ain't on the hot seat. Be mad all you want. Say we underperformed. If we lose a game or two, you shouldn't. That's all fair and true. But the idea that Freeman's going to be on any hot seat, whatever happens this year, it's like title or bust. Well, what's the bust? The bust is we're all really, really mad. And then you either try and do better next year or he goes to the NFL. Like when you say title or bust in this year, what is that actually? What is the bust? If you bust, we're all going to be mad. And then you just try and do better next time. Or he goes to the NFL. And then you got to start over and we have a whole different discussion. So I don't know. I still want overachieving RKGs. Actually, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. He won't be on the hot seat because this is a Mickey Mouse program. You don't make all of the infrastructure changes that Notre Dame has done to make them more competitive. You're a Mickey Mouse program. You're overdoing it on a Monday morning. Switch to decaf. You're trying too hard to go on the negative. A Mickey Mouse program doesn't spend around $45 million to build a roster for the year. They don't. That just doesn't happen. You don't spend what they spend in the portal if you're a Mickey Mouse program. You just don't. You don't spend this kind of money. You absolutely do not. Yeah, and it is true though. It is true though that like and people always do bring it up. Like Freeman didn't have Kelly didn't have like all the NIL thing that's changed, so it's hard to compare recruiting to apples to apples because like Freeman is in it really when Notre Dame's NIL's cranked up and Kelly never really kind of had that. So like that changes or whatever. I understand you're saying it's hard to compare like that. When the people that know behind the scenes are reaching out to you for multiple years saying this guy is just not trying hard enough, I'm going to believe it. I'm going to believe it over and over and over. Whenever I ask behind the scenes how the recruiting is going, it was always, we cannot get this guy to go on a plane and go recruit. He won't do it. He doesn't want to do it. Doesn't want to do it. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know. Whatever. Clickbait, talk bait, whatever, man. It is what it is. This is where I'm at with it. So, I don't know, man. It's tough. Some of you guys crack me up. Keep me on my toes. Summer Liam, what's going on? Welcome in, buddy.
John. Some things don't change.
Hey, you even got called out by name in some of this early morning Monday situation. What do you make of it, Liam? What are we overdoing this? What's the realities?
Remember, like Dave Chappelle, they calling me.
They calling me.
You know what? My son, who's training to be a lawyer, must miss me.
Yeah. So I don't listen, Liam. I've never seen Notre Dame operating on this wavelength, checking all the boxes. I've never seen the football program have the institutional support. I've just never seen it before to this extent. And that gives me a lot of optimism. They're checking all the boxes. That being said, they need to deliver.
You know, Johnny, if Notre Dame is a Mickey Mouse program, some of the people in the chat are part of the Lost Boys. They're in Never Neverland, if you know what I'm saying.
It just feels like sometimes whatever you do and whatever the positive signs are, like some people refuse to accept it. And so if you want to say, make it to the title game this year, then I'll buy in or whatever, I guess that's fair. I'm just pointing out infrastructure wise, they're checking all the boxes that have never been checked before. And that moves the needle for me personally. It just does.
You know, John, I understand the scar tissue and I understand the dangers of being overly pessimistic as a Notre Dame fan over the past 30 years. But to say that Brian Kelly and Marcus Freeman have the exact same coaching record, that it's just a simple and cheap dive into the numbers. When you look more thoroughly at the numbers, you got to look at each of these coaches' differentiation when it comes to wins against ranked opponents. One of them is slightly under 500. One of them is 16-8. One of them is 4-11 against top 10 teams and 0-4 against top 10 teams in bowl games. One of them beat Georgia, Penn State, Indiana. And I also want to remind people, sometimes it's not the wins, but it's how the team looks in the losses that differentiates and can make a difference, at least in the eye test. And if we all say that, the only main difference is recruiting. Well, isn't that the most important thing regarding building a program? Is foundationally you want to attract players that are better than other people?
I would think. Crying Belly's popped in. Do you want to defend your honor against him? Do you got a couple minutes? He wants it.
Sure.
All right. Crying, here you go. Monday morning, we're off to the races.
Good morning.
Hey,
okay, so let's
you wake
talk
up
about
on the wrong side of the bed or what, Crying?
Well, look. So you made a post yesterday saying, what can we attribute to Notre Dame's rise? What do you mean Notre Dame's rise? We're the same program we were 5 years ago. In fact, we had a better record 5 years ago. We went 11-1 that year. The last season, last time I checked, we went 10-2 and missed the playoffs entirely. I mean, look, program off the field stuff, blah blah blah. It's all great, but all of that lives in projection. That's not real. What's real is the stuff that happens on the field. And if it doesn't come together for Freeman, that's a huge problem. And when Freeman leaves after this year, this whole thing has become a lot more sensitive to me now that Freeman is leaving after this year, like Elko told everybody, and I believe Elko entirely. So Freeman just lied about staying here. I'm here for the long run or whatever he said. If he leaves after this year and we miss the playoffs again, or we get into the playoffs and don't win a national championship, he is Brian Kelly, but more disappointing because of the standard that has been set for him by his fans, his cult of fans within the Notre Dame fan base that will say anything to protect him.
Man, I think all that stuff you're saying is like behind the scenes, blah, 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 is the stuff that I think is most important to building long-term stability.
To build it, build. But that's just putting it off in the future. That's intangible, John.
Well,
it's
we
about
don't
the money you make
for a couple months. So I'm sitting here in the end of June, like we're not to the season yet.
We've been saying he's doing it for 4 years. You've been saying he's doing stuff off the field for 4 years. What are we getting? Every year this is the most talented roster. This roster can compete. Well, we went 10-2 last year and we didn't compete.
John, can I go?
I'm saying you could check a lot of those boxes that show that this operation is invested in elite football that were never checked before, man. And they got to deliver. They got to give them, let it get there, and then we'll analyze the season's results. Well, there's nothing to analyze right now. I'm saying they're checking all those boxes that I need. The investment, the crossover between the admin and academic side and the football side, the money side, all of it. For the first time, they're checking all the boxes. Now they need to deliver. Now that they have those benefits, you got to deliver. I'm agreeing with you. They got to deliver. Liam, you go. Liam, this is your deal. Go ahead.
In the chat, Crying Belly claims that people like me and Renee or Catfish will make excuses. You can go back and listen to John's podcast in October or early December when we started off 0-2. And I'm one of the few people calling up saying, if you go 0-2, you probably don't deserve to make the playoffs. And if you get in, it would be by luck. So there's receipts for that if you'd like it, but you'd have
That's not an excuse.
No.
I'm talking about excuses for Freeman.
Right, but I'm saying that going 0-2 last September was unacceptable. Secondly, I have no excuses for him. But the numbers, the records do indicate a difference between the two coaches, as I explained about 2 minutes ago.
In terms of the ranked teams, but let's look at those ranked teams, Liam. That's Syracuse. That's Syracuse in 2022. That's NC State in 2023. That's Clemson with DJ Uyunglele. I mean, come on. Let's be real here.
5 years ago, you mentioned that Notre Dame went 11-1, and that was essentially the same record. The one loss that Notre Dame had was to a Cincinnati team, and we lost at home, and it was the only quality opponent on
True.
that.
Freeman was part of that staff too.
Oh, hold on one sec. So recruiting doesn't matter. Wins against top 25 teams don't matter. How about let's go to another stat. How about players arrested under each coach? Does that matter to you?
I guess that matters. I mean, who made this stat up? Are they talking about that in Georgia?
What do you got? I think they should.
I mean, I don't. Does that stat matter? What
stat does matter to you? You name it, we'll talk about it.
The stat that matters is the amount of championships. We're in here every offseason, a bunch of Notre Dame fans puffing our chests out about championships. And then when the beloved head coach falls like severely short of that expectation, we all want to make excuses for him every year.
Okay.
It's
a few questions.
Yeah.
Is beating Georgia proof that we're getting close to winning a championship?
They had Gunnar Stockton, and we produced no points on offense.
Being Penn State proof that we're getting closer to winning a championship?
Sure, but aren't we on here all the time talking about how Penn State is not an elite program? They're posers like Notre Dame. So great, we beat them by 3 points.
Okay, so the answer to that was yes, right?
I could say I guess. I like the fact that we won a New Year's Six Bowl. I don't think they were tests. Okay. I mean, Georgia was missing its starting quarterback, and the actual quarterback beat that ass the next year in Miami against us, right? We put up no points on offense. We had a slow start against Miami, and we had a slow start against Ohio State. And we won by 3 points against a poser program like Penn State. And that's Notre Dame fans saying they're posers. That's Notre Dame fans saying they're posers.
I thought they had the number 1 ranked defense in the country last year.
Who?
Penn State when we faced them.
We said they were posers. We're on here all the time talking about James Franklin sucks.
Myself, I'm sorry. And thirdly, my third question, you're going on tangents, is...
No, I'm not. What? Dude, you're on here talking about the amount of players arrested in each program. Like, that means... Come on. What do we talk... We want to talk about everything but the record.
I just named the record against top 25 teams, and you said that doesn't matter either.
I'm just telling you, this isn't the... Those aren't the elite wins we think they are. Like, the fact that you didn't bring up Indiana, too. IU? I mean... Dude, that's a bunch of D2 players, and we beat them by 10 points or something.
Brian, let me ask you this. What does Freeman need to do this year for you?
Undefeated.
Okay. That's fair. I just wanted to know where you're at with getting to a point where you're like a little more trusting of Freeman and where this is going. So with
I'm not doing another. I mean, I'll have to do it. This is our curse. But I refuse. I mean, again, I'll have to do it. But another off season where we do this whole runaround of Freeman goes 10-2, but he's still the guy. He's still the guy. After another offseason of saying this is the most talented roster that Notre Dame has had in the X amount of years. We say that every year, it feels like, the past 3 years. And look, last year it got us nowhere. So disappointing. Freeman needs to get a hold of this team. He's not a proven product. I don't care about the off the field stuff because this program has been in a place where it can win for years now. So come on, let's do this. Let's do this.
John, can I address that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Earlier, you said that our hope for or our optimism surrounding Marcus Freeman is based off of projection. Is that right?
Yeah.
What in the world that's worth it isn't based on projection? A marriage, the stock market, a president.
Dude.
It's all projection.
Dude.
A signing bonus, that's based on what we think we're going to do for us next year, not what you have done.
Right.
All things that have value in our society are based on projection. And if you think that he doesn't hold as much value to you than he does to me, then that's fine. But then the issue is give an alternative. Stop.
Yeah, my point, but what do we project off of? We project off of data, and the data right now shows that he on the field is Brian Kelly, and with maybe a few bowl wins against some overrated teams that were missing their quarterbacks.
And what do you think Notre Dame's win against Clemson of Brian Kelly's probably second biggest win during his tenure was when they were missing their quarterback during COVID?
So Freeman's probably second biggest win is Clemson with DJ Uiagalelei. I guess Kelly had that with DJ Uiagalelei as well. I'm just, they're the same dude.
Except one of them has a job and one of them's fired and one of them has back-to-back top 5 recruiting classes. And
what does that have to do with anything? I'm talking about when they were hired at Notre Dame.
Because projection leads to results, of course.
Projection leads to results, of course.
Crying. What about the argument of like, if you're just looking at the high mark of a coach's tenure, like what is the highest level they've achieved? Is there any denying that Marcus Freeman did that in the playoff run to an extent that you
I want to say it's the playoffs, but I look back at those and I'm disappointed by I struggle to rewatch those because the odds are so the Georgia game was so stacked in our favor and we played like crap in that game, all things considered. And the Penn State game was we should have won that more easily, and it was a struggle bus with Freeman, like it always is in these big games. Penn State, Ohio State, Miami, we all came out slow and played bad. That's a Freeman thing.
Yeah, it's and the other thing is last year, man, it was just so weird how this all set up. And I know, Crying, you don't want to hear, it was the first games with the new DC. It was the first game with the new quarterback.
Figure it out, dude.
Yeah,
Freeman needs to stop entrusting all these dudes that come in to go run this stuff. It was the same thing with Chancey Stuckey. He let Chancey Stuckey ruin the entire receiver room. It was happening. He was completely oblivious to it. And we lost all these receivers after the season because of it. He needs to get a hold of this team. He is so overconfident and reads his own headlines. That's the thing. He's reading all this stuff. It's the same thing after A&M in 24. Oh my gosh, we're going to win every game now. We're going undefeated. Look at the rest of the schedule. Northern Illinois comes and they slap you at home. That was completely unexpected. This is going to be the same thing going into this season, man. There's going to be some slip up. There's going to be Freeman reading all these preseason number ones. Notre Dame fans in here, Liam in here talking about this is going to be the greatest team ever because projection leads to results or something. And, Freeman's going to buy it. He's going to think, okay, yeah, guys, we got this. Just roll the ball out there against Wisconsin, see what happens. And it's not that easy.
I'd like to think that Marcus Freeman gets overconfident based on what I say in John Kennedy's podcast.
You just puff air? You puff the air, you puff the balloon as little as it might be. There's tons of hype around this team, undeniably, right, Liam?
I mean, Crying, you brought up my name first in the chat before I even mentioned you. Secondly, if I puff the balloon, you pop it. So
Thank God.
you're on.
I hope Freeman clips this and shows it to the team. They need to hear this, dude. They need to hear this.
I agree. They need to hear that you feel like they're the same team under him as they were under Brian Kelly. I've given you 3 or 4 different data points to argue against. You choose to not see, or at least turn a blind eye to some of the obvious differences in the program and the program's changes. You're claiming that recruiting doesn't matter. You probably also claim that the only reason why we're getting recruits is because we're spending a lot of money.
I don't believe that. Yeah, kind of. I think after Freeman leaves this year, I mean, say bye to all those recruits. That's kind of why I don't care.
Okay. Are you saying Freeman leaves because you know it, or is that based on projection?
That's based off Mike Elko having the same agent and telling a kid. That's a good source.
Man, this is Crying, I get some of what you're saying, but I think you're ignoring some of, like, I know you're smart enough to understand why the projection thing matters. I think you're underplaying that on purpose. As far as like the infrastructure behind the scenes that's never been healthier in this program, I know you know that matters, but that is projection. But it's like you're always going to have projection. But so it's like, what are you projecting? I would much rather take our chances projecting off of all this good stuff, healthy stuff going on right now, rather than projecting off like blind hope that it'll all work out one year. Like there's a lot more structure and meat on the bone projecting from where we're at now than there has before. That's my argument. There's always projection, but before it was like, I hope it all comes together. I'm just seeing more tangible stuff now that builds a foundation of an elite program than I saw before. Does that make sense to you, or do you just not value any of that or disagree?
The infrastructure is great, John, but it's about what you do with it. That's my thing.
Well, yeah, and now we're about to see what he's going to do with it. Like, I don't have the answer for you today. If you're mad about last year, everybody is. But it's like, okay.
It feels like when we talk about infrastructure and thing, and I don't mean you, John, because I actually think you do good holding accountability for Freeman. Not as much as the early days, but nowadays, it seems like padding for Freeman in case he fails this season. Because in the back of our minds, deep in our hearts, we all know we have an entirely new running back room. We all know CJ Carr isn't very good, and he's gonna have to adapt to having some mid running backs. We all know the wide receivers are all unproven, minus a lacrosse player and some guy who's always injured. And we all know the offensive line is coached by Joe Rudolph. So we know this season's not gonna. We want to talk about the future because we know 26 is gonna be a little bit disappointing. All I'm saying, this is not gonna be the year. 27's the year when this great recruiting class is sophomores.
I just think the better, like with that infrastructure, it shifts the pressure more onto Freeman, not off. Because you have those other things that you need to have a successful program. Like the excuses are being crossed off that Notre Dame coaches have been able to lean on for a long time now. Like the excuses to fail are going away. It's the other way of what you're saying. Me saying that everything's in this healthy spot, it shifts the pressure more onto Freeman because you have the support in these other areas. You're eliminating like a lot of the typical excuses for Notre Dame underperforming. They're being eliminated. So every bit of that infrastructure that's better puts more pressure on the field because you don't have those excuses. They're giving you what you need. Now you got to deliver. So the better that off the field stuff is, the more pressure's on Freeman, not the other way around.
Well, okay, John, let me ask you this. All right. So say Bengals head coach gets fired. Freeman goes back to Cincinnati, his old stomping grounds in the NFL after this year. Does Notre Dame continue to commit as many resources then as they do now after Freeman leaves? His eyes are in the NFL, man. None of this infrastructure can be depended upon if it's all about how great he is and why it's happening.
How is he getting young men to donate 3 years of their lives, or at least commit time, if it's so clear that he's already going to the NFL? I don't know how that's.
It's just like
Or-
people believing his lies. It's okay. People
sorry.
lie all the time. Coaches lie all the time.
Right, and you're just why you lie about not remembering Brian Kelly's multiple blow-off losses in primetime TV.
I believe in those. I also remember Freeman's. I remember him giving 45 up to Texas A&M and
Name-
Marcel Reeves at home.
Name a blowout loss. I'm here waiting for it.
He's never had a blowout loss, Liam. That's commendable, but he's had some very disappointing, heartbreaking losses.
Has he ever
Ohio State 2023, buddy. Does that
Yes.
ring a bell? Does
every
Texas A&M last year ring a bell?
every loss as a Notre Dame fan is disappointing, but there's this difference between a disappointing loss and being totally demoralized by the time the first half is over. And that happened numerous times in prime time, game of the week, Saturday night, under your guy Brian Kelly. And that's never under Freeman. And I do agree with you that in many instances we've come out too slow, and that needs to be fixed, right? The first quarter woes. But at the same time, they always fought back. And previously, under the last regime, whenever they were down 14, they just gave up.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a difference? Or no?
I guess that's a difference, but I mean, at the end, the result is the same. You're taking an L.
Crying. Here's what I think about. You asked the question of how much of that infrastructure that I'm a big fan of is going to remain if Freeman leaves. That is a really good question. I think a lot of it will be institutional and stay, and then it would be incumbent on the next coach to be able to kind of really have it operating at full gear. What is his interpersonal skills? How does he recruit? How does he work with the power people that need to be like some of that touch around the margins matters a lot, but a lot of the infrastructure is going to remain. You're not going to like your NIL spend isn't going to cut in half because Freeman goes to the NFL. Like, I don't think that's going to happen, but to have it humming along to where you're landing top 5 recruiting classes, you do need a guy with good communication skills and knowing how to work the system. So let's see what that looks like, whatever year that is. So I think some of it will remain institutionally, and then some of it is the head coach has got to do a good job too. It isn't automatic, but that's where I think it'll be interesting to see.
So all right, I'm going to ask something. So John, back when Freeman was, with the Giants, and he does the whole "I'm gonna run it back" thing, which is like such terrible affirmation to give to the fan base. By the way, what a terrible tweet. But anyways, you had said something like shortly after that, Freeman, I think, is here for the long run, and I at the time I didn't know whether that was you just guessing or if that was something your little birds had told you. And how do you feel right now?
Here's one thing that I think. I was thinking about this morning. I'm glad you asked. I believe Freeman isn't going up against most of what had former Notre Dame coaches looking for their next job. He does not, for whatever reason, some institutional changes, modernization, some of his own doing with his skill set interpersonally. He is not facing some of the same things that made other Notre Dame coaches burn out and look for an exit. He doesn't have those same hurdles. That, I think, changes this discussion. He isn't fighting some of the same battles that a Brian Kelly fought or guys before him did about, are you guys really bought into being elite at football? Because you need to help the football side a little more if you are. You can't just say it in a presser. You have to do things. He's not fighting some of the same battles. They are supporting the program in a different way. And so I think that changes things. He's got it going pretty good here, man. It isn't like they're not supporting me. I need to look for an exit. You're not fighting that battle right now.
Another achievement of Marcus Freeman's, it's another notch in his belt that he's forging these relationships that allow him more gravity to have more say and have more power within the structure that previous regimes weren't able to do.
I mean, absolutely, but this just goes on to like the importance of off-season infrastructure stuff when really what matters is what happens on the field.
And you're right about that. But like I'm sitting here at the end of June and I'm talking about like I don't have the next data set yet, man. Like everybody agrees this is a big year. If you lose a game in September, it is an absolute abomination. But like I'm sitting here at the end of June talking about like what we do know. And it's a lot of these infrastructure pieces that are stronger than they've ever been before supporting the program. When we get to the games, I'm with you. It's year 5. There are no more excuses. He's not the new guy. You don't have none of those excuses exist. This is a huge year for the guy. But let me enjoy the stuff that is good now. And then when we get to the games, we could grade it, but we're not there yet.
You know, John, I'll leave you guys with this. When Freeman leaves after this next year, sounds like it's going to happen. I think no way this team goes to the championship. Offense is too barren in terms of skill talent. Quarterback's just not very good. I think we're going to look back and look at Freeman as just sort of an extension of what Brian Kelly did. He built the program up from where it was. He got some things in place that were good, and the next person will be the one to take advantage of it all. I don't think this is a championship team this year.
Ooh,
and in retrospect, that's how we're gonna sort of reflect on Freeman's tenure here.
Brian, as you leave, what would be if they don't win the national championship? If they lose in the national championship, would that be still considered to be a good season for you?
If it's to Ohio State, no. I'm tired of losing to Ohio State. That is the most heartbreaking thing ever. I can't do the Ohio State losses anymore, Liam. I can't do it.
So you judge their loss?
I can't do it.
Well, again,
it's 4 times. Are you kidding me?
I'm not the one losing. No, I'm not kidding you. So
how many times has it been, Liam? 4 times? They destroy us. Ryan Day is our daddy.
They've never destroyed us, but
are you kidding me? They own us.
They've beaten us 3 times, but they've never destroyed us. Not the way that Navy used to beat Brian Kelly's teams, or not the way Northwestern used to beat Brian Kelly's teams. Not that bad.
What about NI? Yeah, maybe NIU be good.
Connecticut, Florida University beat him.
All right, man.
I want your data point on what a successful season looks like for Notre Dame. You've already told me what a bad one.
Undefeated championship, please. Especially this is his last year, and we've been talking about Freeman era for 5 years now. Let's make it happen. The guy's gone after this year. Let's do it. I want a statue of him too. I like Freeman. I want a statue of him too. It's like feet to the fire time though, Liam. Let's stop being all soft on the guy.
Yeah, it's a big year. It's a big year, man. Like the grading, there is no the grading this year's got to be more strict than it's ever been before. It's year 5. You have all these advantages I've been pumping up and talking about. You're not the new guy anymore. You have no excuses. This is a huge year. If Freeman falters in the regular season or you go 10-2 and miss the playoff, we need to have a different discussion. But I feel like a lot is going to be revealed this year with this schedule, and let's see how it goes.
All right.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah, I guess. I'll call in later with more stuff to complain about. All right, bye.
Have a good Monday, Crying. See ya. Liam, do you have anything else you would like to finish up on?
John, I think that just shows us that some of these fine institutions need to be teaching social etiquette classes as well.
I get some of what he's saying, but I feel like he goes extra hard on the other side to prove the point to where it stretches the credulity a little because of how far he extends the one branch that is accurate. That's what I feel like he's doing. And here's the other thing, Liam. I honestly think Freeman could be comfortably at Notre Dame for a long time if he wanted to be. He's got a lot of advantages going for him that former coaches didn't have for Notre Dame not doing the right thing, but the coach is not doing the right thing too. Freeman is not battling some of the common battles former coaches have battled that had them looking for an exit escape. He's not battling the same fires, and I think he could stay at Notre Dame comfortably if he really wants to. And that's my position on it. he is not desperately looking for a backdoor exit because this place won't support him. He's not fighting that battle, so he could stay here if he wanted to.
John, one of my main issues with some of the things that Cryan says is that we have to hold Freeman's feet to the fire. He expects Freeman to win a national championship, but in the same breath, he'll say that Carr's not any good. So how does he expect Freeman to win a national championship with a quarterback that he claims isn't very good? Does he think that Marcus Freeman is going to do it in spite of his poor quarterback play? You can't.
I think he would bring it all the way back and then say that there was a miscalculation on wanting Carr and that he wasn't that good and you should have evaluated different and that's your fault too, right?
You know, some people win the lottery and complain about the amount.
Yeah, it's I get some of what he's saying. But also some of it I think he's ignoring some of the things going on, or maybe we just value different things differently. For me, the administrative side's always been a big deal to me. I know Goolsby on the Patreon sometimes is like, you're just so far into the admin stuff, I don't care about it. But I've just seen enough data to know that, like, if you don't have that part going right, you're not winning a championship in Notre Dame until you have all that stuff pulling from the same direction, and they finally are. And I will stand by that. I believe you cannot win a title at Notre Dame without all of that other behind the scenes stuff working in your direction. And it finally is. I believe that.
Yeah, I do too. And simply because someone thinks that they don't care about an argument doesn't mean that the argument doesn't make sense and isn't fruitful either. Like, the administrative stuff is the foundation for having a good coaching staff, having the elite players that the coaching staff can use, scheming it up against teams that are equally as athletic. These things are essential. We want to create a top 5 program consistently from one year to the next and not just be lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. But man, this is that was an interesting. I'll tell you this, I didn't know it would be that fun or like it'll have that kind of energy on a Monday morning. Liam, anything else? I think he stirred up some other people that want to jump on now, maybe react to that.
Thanks, Johnny.
Hey, thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate it. Enjoy your summer and the time off, buddy. Have a good one. We'll talk to you. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this kind of juice on a Monday morning. The juice is loose. $10 Spanky. Johnny, be honest. He's got to be on the payroll. There's no other logical but no, he really isn't. He's just somewhat of our contrarian, and he does the same thing on the Patreon side. And I mean, that's fine. So it's fine. But we're going to get a lot of answers this go around. Andrew, good morning. What's up, brother? Mark, hey. You're coming up. Catfish, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, good debate. You know, it's tough because I don't really like to agree with Cryan on anything, and I really don't. I think he does bring up some interesting points, but I do want to just rebut that. To say that things aren't better, so to speak, than BK. I think, I mean, Freeman's won 10 plus games in a row. He was a national runner up. You had a Heisman. I mean, you had a legitimate Heisman candidate last year. I think that's something to be celebrated about. So it's absolutely on an upswing. I think we can all agree that this might be one of Notre Dame's best coaching staffs over the last 3 years. It's been the same deal. Great coaching staff. He's put together an NFL like front office who's doing all this player evaluating and stuff like that. So all the pieces are totally in place, and anybody who doesn't want to give Freeman credit for that is just not being fair. And then also some of those wins that he was trying to poo-poo. Like, I mean, like, I don't care. Penn State was really good in 2024. I do think we caught a break against Georgia, not going up against their starting quarterback, but still beating the SEC champ is huge. It's all to say, though, that where I do agree with Cryan Belly is just look at the current landscape of college football. Who are the last 3 national champions? They're all Midwest powers, all teams that Notre Dame stacks themselves up against, whether it's Michigan in 2023, Ohio State, who's the gold standard in the Midwest in 24, and then an upstart in Indiana. And then additionally, you look at other teams. Miami has been a total dumpster fire, for 20 plus years. Now they're very much in the mix. A coach who initially, when he was hired at Miami, he was often compared to against Marcus Freeman, Mario Cristobal, because of their perceived recruiting. Both guys were perceived as top recruiters. I mean, you can make an argument Miami might be in better shape than Notre Dame in certain ways. So I just think that everything's in place. Where I get frustrated with the big Freeman supporters is there really are no more excuses. Our
True.
schedule is one of
True.
the easiest schedules in the country for like a power team. If you want to point to Miami or some other ACC teams, fine, go ahead if that makes you feel better. But we're not playing USC schedule. We're not playing Michigan schedule. Look at Texas's schedule; it's ridiculous. So I just think that whereas Freeman should have his great supporters, I think it's a waste of time at this point, 5 years in, to compare to Brian Kelly. We can all, I mean, I'm a guy who will often defend Brian Kelly's era because I liked a lot of those teams, but at no point was the current land, or was the landscape back then that Notre Dame could win a national championship. They weren't going to beat Alabama. They weren't going to beat Georgia. They weren't going to beat LSU. Things have totally changed. The SEC is the weakest I think the SEC has been since it got good in the early 2000s. Everybody's beatable now. And so with everything that is being provided to Freeman, which he deserves a lot of credit for because he's the one who has to go out there and pitch the boosters, pitch the administration to spend the money. So he deserves credit for it. But there just really isn't any excuse to win a national championship. And I think it's totally fair. And those, I love Liam. He was really nice to meet him at the tailgate. But there really should not be any excuse making if Notre Dame doesn't win a national championship. The only thing that I can maybe excuse at this point is if like key players got injured or something like that. Then I think you get a mulligan. But you should go 12-0, and if you go 11-1, it will depend upon how they go 11-1. And you lose that big game against Miami at home, it's like, what are we talking about? This in many ways, this is a 1-game season. I don't want to disrespect BYU, but they are not on the level of a Big Ten powerhouse team. So you just can't lose that game. So I just say that I find it frustrating because I maybe because I grew up like a Red Sox fan. I mean, the Red Sox my entire life and my dad's entire life never won championships. And like during good years, like I don't remember like my father building up the Red Sox saying, hey, at least we took the Yankees to 7 games. It's like they were pissed when they lost to the Yankees.
Yeah.
So much so they fired managers, they got rid of players, they fired GMs and stuff like that. And so I would like a little bit more of the fan base to be treating Freeman somewhat like how Texas is treating Sark. You know what I mean? Sarkisian in Texas took over a way worse program than Freeman did, and he's turned them around. He's had amazing booster support. But I feel like if you follow Sarkisian's offseason, he's acting like a coach who's sort of on the hot seat. Like if he doesn't win it all this year or make a huge run or at least win the SEC, I think he might be in trouble. And it's just like I don't understand how Freeman doesn't feel that same type of or even an ounce of that kind of pressure. I mean, people are just celebrating the guy, and I just think, hey, listen, you've done a great job. You had some big wins, three 10+ win seasons, but the script has changed in college football.
Yeah, the pressure's definitely on, man. In year 5, there are no excuses. Any of the excuses you could come up with for Freeman before no longer apply. Any of the personnel excuses, like first time quarterback, first time DC, whatever I hear, it's all gone. So you just got to deliver this year. And if you go 10-2 and miss the playoff this year, we can have a different discussion about where this is all headed. But like, there are no excuses this year. You can't lose in September. You really can't lose at all, to be honest.
And I do disagree with Crying Belly in the sense that this is a loaded roster coming in. I mean, when's the last time we had a returning defense with this much experience, be this excited about our defensive line? On the offensive side of the ball, I think we're inevitably going to be judged on whether Mike Martin made the right decisions in the portal at wide receiver and potentially running back too. I like to throw in running back because I would have loved to get Hollywood Smothers, the NC State guy that went to Texas. But with that said, I mean, everybody in the country is looking at our roster saying it's as good as, any of the top teams in the country. So again, I agree with you. No excuse. Where I do sympathize with Crying Belly is that I wish there was a little bit more pressure on Freeman in the sense that like this is it. I mean, because I just don't think that I don't know what will happen to Notre Dame scheduling over the next few years, but I feel like last year were signs that the rest of the college football landscape, especially the teams in the Big Ten and the SEC, aren't going to put up with Notre Dame playing schedules like that anymore. You know what I mean? They're going to really stick it to us if we don't win a championship. So yeah.
Yeah, this does feel like a really important year for things to all come together. Like and there's no excuses, and you're not going to hear them from me if Freeman fails this year or whatever. Like we can have that discussion if we need to. Hopefully we don't have to. Andrew, anything else? Thanks for joining on Busy Monday.
No, I would just add that and you make the point too, but I just want to reiterate that I don't even really focus in on if Notre Dame finishes 1, 2, 3, or 5, 5 in the in the final rankings for player, for the recruiting. I guess where I'm most excited is if you look at how you win championships. I'm a big believer in what Bill Parcells was all about, and it's if you win up front, you win with offensive line and defensive line, and so I think it's the quality of player that we're getting now on the D line, and then we continue to recruit really, really well at offensive line. And so that's what I celebrate. I mean, it's great if you can get that guy Henderson, the middle linebacker, find like a 5-star corner here and there. But when you're getting legitimate like 5-star offensive linemen and then following it up with getting real pass rushers, guys who would never have gone to Notre Dame, 5-10 years ago, that's what excites me, because that's how you win. Because we've seen in the last 20 years that you can win a championship with a pretty average quarterback. I mean, look at Mac Jones. You look at some of these guys who've won championships, but if you can stack that defensive line and offensive line, you can do a lot of things. So that's what I'm most excited about. So
yeah, man, this is going to be interesting. So we're about to have the ramp up. We'll get to it soon. Camp will be here, and then we'll actually start to get data, not theory, but actual data, not projection, actual data. And that's what I can't wait for. And we'll figure out who's right or who's wrong. But man, it's going to be an exciting ride. Andrew, have a good start to your week, brother.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, man. Have a good one.
Yep. See ya. Man, I wasn't expecting this kind of juice today. Johnny definitely likes his chat trolls. Weird, right? Telling you the way I view it. And I don't know why more people don't see it this way. But like, it would be boring for me if everyone in here was like, rah, rah, Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame. That's boring to me. I like a little difference in there to like balance things out, or give me something to disagree with. I wouldn't want everybody in here to be all Notre Dame's great all the time. That's boring. So I don't mind people mixing it up a little bit. I really don't. I think some people push it just for the point of pushing it, and that's different. $2 from the wine and cheese. Crying would have Dabo and Kirby fired by now. Gone. Look at this. BVG should be the coach. Just drop it by to say John's wrong about everything. That is all. Mark, good morning, brother. You've been sitting there observing. What do we make of this? I wasn't expecting this on a Monday morning.
Who is saying there's no pressure on Freeman to win this season? Am I missing something?
Yeah, I think it's everybody's pointing at this as like, you got to have a big year. So I don't know.
What the hell's going on? It's a complete opposite. I feel like when you're a favorite, have the odds and the roster, like there's a huge pressure to win. So I must be missing something. But yeah, it goes without saying this team needs to win a championship. So I'm not going to bitch and moan, before anything happens. And really, if shit isn't sweet here and now, and we can't be optimistic, then this program's been straight ass for almost 40 years. And why are we here? Why do you have a YouTube channel? Why do we come in here? Like, why do we bother doing anything? So I'm very confused at that. Lost beyond words. I don't understand. And like I think, going off of the Patreon interview you did with Julius Jones. I think it's really significant getting his son, who's a top 50 ESPN recruit at wide receiver, Monday, and it's bookended Friday by getting Simeon. I don't know what else. Like, it's kind of unprecedented. We haven't seen this. These are like two things that are kind of like the biggest kind of sign of what we've been asking for so long. And Jack tweeted this out: between 2026 and 2027, we have the most rivals, top 40 players in the country with 12, and Ohio State is second with 7. And then this from Kyle Kelly: Louisiana has produced 35 five-star prospects during the rivals era. Not only has LSU landed 25 of them, but none of them gone farther than Tennessee to play college football. And we got this kid, and you know, Tim Hyde knows more about offensive line than anybody, and the stuff that he's been saying is like big time. So, I mean, obviously we're all focused on the here and now and this season. I think that's what, you know, Crying Belly was going to say, but, you know, I don't understand what we're doing.
Yeah, it's, man, it's just, and I think the way last year went, it's really frustrating because you feel like Notre Dame messed up, started 0-2, but there's also all these other circumstances built into it that you think about, but it's also kind of excuse making if you lean into them. The whole dynamic last year, I feel like, is fueling some of this, like some of the uncertainty or where do we fall on this, because it was such a weird way to have a year ago. 0-2, one possession games, all the weird nuance. Then you win 10 out, but it still isn't enough for the playoff. There's a big mix of good and bad in there. And like everybody individually falls where they fall on how to process it. There's just no excuses this year. There isn't. You have the schedule, like you allegedly have the roster. There are no excuses. So this is going to be a big measuring stick year. It's year 5. You're not the new coach. You're not the rookie. You ain't any of that. So let's go.
Yeah. And the like the stuff about Freeman, if it weren't for those weird oddball losses, like this would really be, I think, out of order. But you know, only 4 teams have won more games since he's been a coach. Only 1 more ranked victories, and those were the rankings that all 138 teams were using. So like, don't dismiss, oh, this was Syracuse, they only had a cup of coffee in the top 25. That's the same case for everybody. He still has more than anybody. I will say, going back to the recruiting real quick, I did do a chart that I thought was interesting, and I compiled the numbers of the gap between where Notre Dame finishes and the number 1 overall class finishes. And I did it back to 2017, and you'll see the ranking difference and the percentage difference, and you'll see the shit. Let me see if I can get this. You'll see the gap closing 2017, and it goes all the way up when we start getting more blue chips and more 5 stars. So that line chart.
Yeah.
So all this to say what we already know is, you know, having more blue chips than anybody, getting 5 stars. I mean, this offensive line class, 2 5 stars, 2 4 stars, like the window's open for the foreseeable future. But obviously, win now. On the way out, I wanted to show you, this is hot in the streets right now.
People were commenting in the chat. They're like, what's this I see with the potato salad?
This is the top sides for 4th of July. Can you see yourself?
I do.
You only have a hot dog on your plate. But
why do I look? But it's funny because I have a weird body like type in that, which like matches up and checks out pretty good to reality.
Yeah, and I don't want to hijack the show, but I was curious off this list what you would put on your plate. I got mac and cheese, baked beans, broccoli salad, pasta salad, coleslaw, chips, corn on the cob, fruit, deviled eggs, potato salad.
All right, I'll give you this. Mac and cheese, yes. Baked beans, yes. Broccoli salad, never heard of it. Not going to try a pasta salad. Absolutely not. I can't think of anything grosser than cold, slimy pasta noodles. Absolutely not. Coleslaw is lawn clippings. No. Chips, yes. Corn on the cob, yes. Watermelon, certain fruit, sure. Deviled eggs, no. They just taste weird. And potato salad, absolutely not. I'm not eating that. No.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious which things you would
and I'm curious, how'd you get that drawing of me? Is that AI or whatever? That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's AI. I'm trying to be like you.
Yeah, that's pretty. That was pretty good. And yeah, it's a reminder to everybody, don't blow off your digits lighting fireworks. It's just not worth it. Watch from a distance. You don't want to be like Terry.
All right. Happy 4th of July.
Love you, buddy. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tonight, I'm sure. Have a good one. Catfish, what's going on, dog?
And Marcus, we trust. That's what I'm talking about. Look.
Now, wait. First off, everyone needs to understand you live in Ohio State territory and you have Marcus Freeman on the back of your truck driving around, and everybody, what do they pull next to you and give you the finger at every red light?
You better believe it. I have a story about that. When we played Ohio State, I was over there literally in Columbus driving around, and some kids stopped, and I had my whole family in the car, and I forgot I had this on the back. So I'm just sitting there, like, window down. We were laughing, joking around, probably talking, something stupid.
Those kids were literally saying,
F you, Notre Dame, this, that, and I mean, it was belligerent, and I acted like I didn't hear it, and my wife was like, don't react. Then my son starts getting mad. He's about to say something like, don't react, because I remember I had this on the back. But this is the thing. This guy right here has changed culture, and the university has backed him. Nobody can argue that. Okay? I have a couple things I wrote down, and crying is just trying to ruffle a lot of people's feathers. My wife told me I have to start keeping it a little bit more PG when I get on here, because I get ramped up, and crying and WPP do that. But I will say this: if you looked at your interview that you and Mike did with Julius, which he's one of my favorite players ever, I will say that. So I'm gonna be a little bit more biased towards it. It was fantastic, and you could just tell with his response to some of the questions you guys had. He's not sending his sons to Notre Dame to a coach that he feels is just bolting next year. He's not doing that. They're not coming, and they're not going to go ahead and do their due diligence. You saw how direct he was with the response to the questions that you both asked about where the program is and what they think about Marcus as a person and as a coach and where the program's headed. And he was like calm, collective, and said, this is different. And he is a fantastic, genuine person. And I would almost guarantee that Marcus, if there was anything in him, was going to be straight up with Julius. And Julius you would have saw a little bit different of an answer maybe if it was anything different. My thing is, and I just want to say this is comical to me. Cryan sits there like it's a foregone conclusion because Mike Elko said, his agent said something because they have a common thread. He's going to use everything. My question to Cryan is, if that's the case and that's what he used as ammo, and Henderson took it, and that's why he went to Texas A&M, why didn't Simeon? Weren't they the last team too? Do you think he just forgot to say that to Simeon? Oh, I forgot. Let me tell this guy and not the other one. Like, he can say whatever he wants. Talk is cheap. My thing is, I think Cryan's absolutely hilarious when he says all these stats don't matter. Everything leads, and the momentum's building. And Brian Kelly, he was literally everything you just said. Everybody talks about at LSU that he was uninvolved. They talk about stories that he was uninvolved at Notre Dame. He didn't want to call the receiver from Washington. You know, he did good at Notre Dame. We're not denying that. But to act like in year 5 that Marcus is not where or elevated this program to where we should be excited is absolutely asinine. It's beyond comical to me that that a person cannot be encouraged, at the least encouraged, and then he wants to throw in there he likes Marcus. Explain to me. I think you're on the hunt for your dad. You keep saying, is Ryan Day your daddy? What are you talking about? If you don't, I think Brian Kelly's your daddy. I mean, my thing is like Marcus Freeman has elevated this program to a level that Brian Kelly never took it to. We got more higher recruits in the last 2 classes. And I know it's not all him. I know it's the landscape changed. And I know that a lot of things involved into it. And I think, John, you're very much a realist for saying that. I don't think it's all Tim Hyde, where Brian Kelly would have done the same thing. He didn't. LSU proved that. He would not have done that at Notre Dame. I think we would be exactly where we're at. So to say Marcus, this guy right here, and I sat here exactly to do this guy right here has elevated the program as best as any coach in his position could with the backing of the university that they are giving Notre Dame fans. The whole university has bought into this. And whether it be because we lost to Miami, whether it be because of the snub, whether it be because they're tired of losing or they feel like we're right there, whatever the case may be, this university is in a different point than it has been in 40 years. And Mark hit that home run. He hit a home run by making that comment. 40 years as fans, we have had coaches that want to go to the golf course, don't want to spend the time in recruiting, don't want to give effort where all you have to do is give that much more of an effort and you could win. We're getting blown out in all the big games and went back to when we were, Willingham was winning games on defense. And then all of a sudden, every game for the first 7 games we're winning on special teams and interceptions and fumbles and fluke stuff. And then we go in one big game and get blown out by 40. Brian Kelly did that. Charlie Weiss did that. All these guys did that. This dude's been there 5 years, going in 5 years, and Crying wants to act like we're in the same spot as all those guys. To me, I think that's comical. I think it's delusional. Just as bad as somebody saying he's the greatest coach to ever coach football. He's not the greatest coach yet, but he's only in year 5. I mean, give it a little time. And to say without a shadow of a doubt he's leaving, where are you getting your information? Because Mike Elko said that? I'm not saying he is staying, but why not live in the moment? Why are you living in he's got to win a national title or he's leaving? What if he stays? What if he does win or doesn't win and stays? Now all your credibility will be out the window because you're literally basing it on your feelings, not on facts. Facts are our program as at a different level by the way they're recruiting and why, and the national media knows it. That's why everybody's talking about us. That's why they've always been divisive in that way. Notre Dame has always been a talking point. That's why they always do. Let them talk. But you need to live in the present and be excited about the moment we're in. And I'm not saying that we aren't going to be if he loses this year, a couple games like you're saying, John, I disagree with.
It's a reason why I disagree with it
is because Miami is a good team.
I think that everybody's forgetting that when
it's a 1-game season, we must win that. We need to get to the playoffs. That's what we need to do. However that's done.
Yeah.
Suck if we don't go to.
That's the biggest thing is that we need to make the playoffs. So once we make the playoffs, if we fail from that point, we are going to all be upset. And that's where the argument that Crying's trying to make this year is going to begin. Because I think that we're going to get tired of doing this if we do it. But to do it 1 year, you're basing a team that did exactly what he did his first 2 years with Kelly. Every year he was a coach. Every year he was a coach, he did that. He literally got blown out in all the big games, and we never had a chance to win a national title. So So now we're at a point where we're at the next level of that. We're on like right at the threshold of breaking through being elite. And to say that we're still back where Brian Kelly was is delusional as far as I'm concerned. And that's where I'm going with this. And I hope that Cryan can actually sit back and look at where he's saying this. His credibility is going to be completely gone. And for a guy to go to Notre Dame for an education to say the things he's saying as facts, he should know better. He should know better. Julius Jones and all those other NFL players that sent their sons there aren't gonna all be baffled by Elko saying the one fact. Let me say this: the one fact is I guarantee Mike Elko's eating a double cheeseburger today. That's probably the only fact that we know for to being a fact. Is dude's going to eat a double cheeseburger and gain a couple pounds. So that's fact, Brian. So you need to get off Marcus Freeman's back and quit trying to pull him down. And if you do, you're just going to be the one he stiff arms, leaves on 10-yard line as he's going in for a touchdown. And I don't want to hear your bull crap next year about, well, I was just doing that because I'm used to the last 40 years. You either jump on the bandwagon or you jump off. You can't fence ride. You sit on one or the other. That's all I'm trying to say. If you're on his back, be that person next year. Don't be talking all this, oh, I'm excited and this, that, and the other. All these people that want to talk all this crap about Marcus and Notre Dame, when it doesn't go the way that they're the ones that are going to have to. That's the receipts I'm talking about when we went in our debate. The receipts are you're saying stuff is fact and it's not. They're opinions. And everybody has a right to them, including yourself. But to say he's leaving like it's fact is asinine. It is. Just like us saying that he's going to stay. We don't know. But the bottom line is that we have to have hope and we need to be excited. To be upset right now compared to when we had Brian Kelly losing out on every 5-star, we're in the bottom or the last 2 or top 5, and every 5-star was like, yeah, I like Notre Dame, but I'm going to Ohio State or I'm going to Alabama or I'm going, name it. And then we get one of, 15 of those in a 10-year span. And then all of a sudden this dude's pulling in guys left and right. We lose one guy that we wanted right now. And it might not even be a loss. We might get Caden at the end of the day. Once he starts realizing what Elko said was all whatever and his opinion, he might even be in this class. To say you're not excited about that is unbelievable to me, John. I don't know how you feel about it. I get you want a different perspective, and I get that we as fans need to be realistic about it. But this is the off season, and this is what it's for. It's not to be downgrading somebody. And if you have a personal reason why you're downgrading Freeman, I don't understand it, because he's done nothing but showed something that Kelly never did, which was, he's a class act in every way, shape, and form. You know what I mean? Like, Kelly wants to go shopping on a different aisle, but yeah, he wants to come back to what he called Aldi's. Well, Aldi's is about to be the best grocery store around, bud. You know what I mean? Like, they're relabeling everything or something. Notre Dame is in a different spot than we've ever been, and I'm tired of hearing these haters. I'm tired of it. It's hate talk. You have a personal reason you don't like this guy, and I don't know what it is. It's going to come out in the wash, but to say he's that different than the last coach is beyond laughable. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm tired of it, man. We could talk about facts. He's got better numbers. We could, and half the time, mind you, half the time. And you're talking about running him out of town or he's leaving this. Kelly talked about leaving from the first time he went to the national title. I don't know if you were in diapers looking for your dad, Ryan Day, but he was talking about going to the Eagles, because I'm an Eagles fan. The moment he went to the national title game, he was talking to the Eagles, and the Eagles didn't want him because he sucks. He sucked then and he sucks now. That's why he's on talking about football. He's not coaching it, because if he was everything that these guys say he is, he'd be a coach right now, but he's not. He's going back to the team that he spurred, and he went on somewhere else because he can't get a job on his own, because everybody knows the proof's in the pudding, and he ain't got no pudding. It tastes like crap. You see how that's a PG crap. So that's all I got to say. I'm heated by it. I'm heated by it because I want people to realize Marcus and Notre Dame's administration all together in lockstep right now. We're like this. We're like this, and we're going for it. And that means something. And anybody that's been a fan the last 40 years can see what I'm talking about. We've went through it, John. You can't sit here and say, you can understand where Kynes comes from, right? Yeah. They have a different point. But you can't tell me as a fan, for as long as you've been here, since Lou Holtz, Name me one time we've had a coach in a university in lockstep. I'm talking from the athletic department to the school, to the coach, to the fans, to the players. Name one time since Lou Holtz that we've had that in 40 years. Name it.
This is it. This is the one.
Is that not facts? That's all I'm trying to say. That's where I'm going with this. I hope you get it. So that's where I'm going with it.
Got to deliver, man. Year 5, you got to have a big year this year. I totally agree with that. All this stuff's in place. So we're going to see anything on the way out, Catfish. I love the backdrop with the Freeman there on the back of the truck.
I lost you.
You lost me? All right. Sorry, Catfish. You lost me. The good discussion there. I love the back of the truck too. Catfish, you're the man. Didn't mean to hang up on you like that. Eric, what's going on, bro?
Man, bro, happy Monday, man. Happy Monday to the Irish fans. What the hell is going on this morning?
I don't know. People woke up in a mood, man.
Oh my God. First of all, I'm going to say go Irish, man. Go Irish, go Irish. I feel Catfish, everything that he's saying. Hey, either you with us or you against us. Crying Belly, first of all, you need to change your picture. Because that lets me know what type of person you are. If your girlfriend leaves you, that's going to be your picture. You need to stop it. And hey, man, I don't know what all this complaining is about. I just think people got too much time on their hands right now because ain't no football going on. Hey, man, we a bona fide top 5 program. I'm
Eric,
happy.
You might be right, dude. This time of year, it gets to you because all you have is your own mind and you fight those Notre Dame demons and you're playing it all in your head. And what could go right and what could go wrong? Like this is the time for that. But even I get lost in that sometimes. So I understand everybody's battling their own mind here and we all I want to see what comes next. This is a big year. I want to see the data.
Hey, man, it's right in front of you. It's going to happen, man. You just got to be patient, man. The season don't start to what, September? Like Labor Day? Like y'all relax. Just just keep an eye out for injuries and make sure we don't have no more ATV accidents with like Jagasaw and stuff like that, stupid stuff. Ain't no kids getting arrested. It's quiet in Notre Dame land. We just landing recruits back to back. I don't know what people are complaining about. I just don't get it, man. That's just it's like a stock. You put money in the stock, and you're not going to get a instant, whatever you call it. It's not going to happen instantly. It's going to happen over time. So right now, this year 5. So yes, you're going to hear we're better every year. Yes. We are getting better every year. We're getting better recruits. We're getting better talent. Man, the administration is getting better. And you know why the administration had to get better? Because this is your cash cow. Regardless if you like it or not, administration, when we went to that playoff, all that money we got, we ain't had to split it with nobody. Think about that. Yeah. Think about that. That's why the whole college football world hates Notre Dame as well. Because we don't have to split it with nobody. We don't have to. And it's not our fault that we are actually good now. Like, this is not preseason hype. This is not overrated or none of that. No, we are bona fide in the top 5. It don't matter how you shuffle it. We don't have to be 1. We don't have to be 2, 3, 4, but we're in the 5. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, man. It's just, I understand some of the negativity and some of the questions and I get some of it, but overall, when you zoom out, the momentum arrow straight up for this program, it just is and that doesn't mean Freeman, you got to win the games. I'm just saying the infrastructure and the arrow of the program overall has never been pointed higher up, in my opinion. And now is the time to cash that in for a title, because you have all this momentum in the right direction. The more support Freeman gets off the field, the more pressure there is to him on the field, because you have no excuses. That's the way I see it.
Yes, you are right, man. You are right. There are no excuses for Marcus Freeman. It's just no excuses no more. I feel crying belly on that. But man, change your picture, bro. Change your picture and change your attitude.
He knows what he's doing. He knows when I pull him up and the first thing I see is Brian Kelly, that my blood pressure goes up, and he knows it and he loves it.
But he needs to get that picture off of there. That's a bad spirit, bro. That's a bad spirit to have. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's a bad spirit, bro. I don't hate Brian Kelly. I got love for Brian Kelly. He got us to where we are. Like, and that's it. So I don't
know what else? I give Brian Kelly credit, because if you're all in on Marcus Freeman, Brian Kelly's the one that invited him into the program and got him in the Notre Dame ecosystem to begin with. So you got to give him some credit on that. Yeah.
It's like everybody has an ego. Brian Kelly has an ego. And when we suck, we suck. When you got to get rid of Brian Van Gorder, you got to get rid of him. Like whoever's lacking, like offensive line coach, D-line coach, they got to go. They got to go. They had to tell them. They had to tell them, like, hey, these games you losing, you gonna have to start making some changes. And he did. Even though he has a big ego, everybody knows Brian Kelly has an ego. And it got brought down to reality at LSU, because you thought you had it scot-free down at LSU. But guess what? You still have to be you at LSU. And that's why those players weren't coming or putting all their effort into playing for Brian Kelly, because he ain't shit. He's not a motivator at all. All this fake dancing and all this shit, man, stop it. Stop it, bro. Stop it.
Yeah, it's but man, like, and the thing is, Freeman's no longer the new guy, right? You can't complain that you're not competitive with NIL, and that's beyond your control. Like, none of these excuses exist anymore. It's year 5. You have a light schedule, and Notre Dame needs to have a really, really strong year. And if they don't, we're going to have some very uncomfortable discussions about all of this after 5 years in. I admit all of that. But as we sit here today, man, like, the sky is the limit for the Notre Dame program. It's in the best shape it can be in the modern era. I never thought Notre Dame would get to this point where I'm seeing they got 17 blue chippers, the most in the country, in the 27th class. I never thought I would be alive to see the day that was a modern reality for Notre Dame. Here we are.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, John. That's why I like listening to you talk, man, because you just the voice of reason, man. Like, it's not all doom and gloom with you. Like, you know, you on the fence, man, but you be right. Like, we got to look at the bad.
That's the thing. Like, I try to be somewhere in the middle where I can see both sides. I'm not trying to be wishy-washy, but it's like a fact that I see all of these positives and all these negatives, and like, where does it fall? Like, somewhere I see all of it, but it's like, let's get some data and then make some conclusions after year 5 with the lighter schedule. Let's make some conclusions after this.
Yeah, and that's the problem I got right now, man. There's a bunch of wishy-washy ass people, man. I can't take it, man. I see it in the chat. I hear it in the conversation. I'm like, man, I've been here too long with Notre Dame, and too much failure, too much heartbreaks, I don't want to hear none of it right now. Like, bro, I don't want to hear it, because I've been here too long, bro. Like, too long. Like 36 years. Like, I'm 40, 46. And I started liking them when I was 8 years old. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying, man, I done seen the worst of the worst and the best of the best. So right now we're clicking, like you said, on all cylinders. We're clicking on all cylinders. So, hey, man, I just don't get why people complaining right now. I just don't get it, man. We got one of the hottest coaches, and he's not leaving. Crying, he's not leaving. I don't know where you get these sources from. He's not leaving this year. And I like what Liam asked him, like, what would be a successful season to you? What would be a successful season to you? Because if we lose national championship or in the semifinals, you still gonna be complaining about, oh, Marcus Freeman ain't the guy. He ain't the guy. Well, who is the guy?
Yeah.
There's no fucking guy but Marcus Freeman. Excuse my French, man. I'm hot on the Monday, man. They got me hot, bro. They got me hot, man. Who the hell we going? Okay, I'm sorry. Who are we gonna get besides?
I just wanted to hit the
Watch
button.
your profanity.
Okay, I apologize again, John. But who are we gonna get, man? Who are we gonna get?
Yeah.
Who are we gonna get? Somebody tell me, please, who are we gonna get? And I'll rest my case for the day. And go Irish. I love you, John. I love the show. I'm pissed right now, bro.
Don't let crying belly get to you on a Monday. We still got a lot of the summer left, man.
It ain't just crying. It ain't just crying. He has a whole clan out there that you don't know about, that I hear about. The people I'm around, they all just like him. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sick. Shut up.
Oh man. Well, the results are going to be the ultimate arbiter here in this season. So we're going to figure out where the truth lies. You're the man. Have a good Monday, buddy.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a couple shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Crying Belly, even though, I'm talking my stuff. I want to give a shout out to Louise. I want to give a shout out to WPP. I want to give a shout out to Renee, Liam, and Adam, all you guys, man. I just want to give a shout out. Even though I went on my rant, I still love you guys. I love y'all opinions. Don't take my rant for hate for any of you guys. I love you all. Go Irish.
You're the man, Eric. Well, yeah, you hop back on soon, buddy. Love it when you join. Thank you very much.
Peace.
Have a good one. Look at who's back. Clayton Bigsby. He is back and he's ready to go.
Don't let the media tell you how to think and feel. If you have hate in your heart, let it out. How much time you got, buddy? Drugs and alcohol. I can't understand you.
Oh man.
What's your face? We want to see your face.
Who said that? You want to see my face?
Go on, brother.
Who said that? You want to see my face? Luis, we want to see your face.
No, I just gotta
What's
go.
up, baby?
What's up, Johnny, man? Right here, just taking care of business real quick, man. You already know me. I'm feeling much better. First and foremost, happy late Father's Day to all of you guys, everybody in the chat.
To you as well,
John, your dad. First and foremost, a belated happy Father's Day to you all. Now, let's talk football. First of all, I need to calm down because some of you guys took my thunder away. You know what I mean? Because I was about to go off. First of all, if we've been with Notre Dame through the misery, why can't we enjoy this goddamn moment? Are you seeing what Notre Dame is doing on a recruiting level? Like, I told you this was going to happen. Let Marcus Freeman get rid of Kelly's homeboys. And as soon as he got his people in, and look what's going on. He's cooking. You know what I'm saying? He's cooking at all levels. You know what I'm saying? He's doing, man, he's like fine wine, my boy. The older he gets, the finer he gets. You know what I'm saying? So he's making that Chardonnay, that Pinot Noir, that Merlot, the Moscatos. I mean, he's doing it all, my boy. Like, you over there want to complain about, oh, he's going to leave after this year. Well, good. I hope. Even I hope he don't. But it doesn't matter. I mean, your boy Brian Kelly left for 100 grand. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'm all for it, man. Hey, Marcus Freeman, do what you got to do, bro. I think you setting up Notre Dame at a fine, and you're proving what everybody says it cannot be done at Notre Dame, and you're doing it in the modern era. We just got to get that last little piece, and that's that natty, my boy. And once you get that natty, without a conference, without all these other people BSing and bullshitting about all crying this stuff and how you just share, you're showing them that you could put that bag all to yourself. And that's what a lot of people don't like, because they got to share and we don't got to share at all. You know what I'm saying? And then Kelly, let me just finish it off with it. He ain't shit. He will never be shit. He wasn't shit. He'll stay as shit. And he got humbled down. That simple. So if you over there trying to protest for Brian Kelly's still departure, bro, it's 5 years ago. Man, miss me with that, my boy. 5 years later, yeah. Marcus Freeman. Ain't nobody making up excuses for Marcus Freeman. I'm not making up no excuses. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy that he's in 5 year in at Notre Dame, and look at how loaded those classes are. I'm not even tripping. He is showing you what a modern day Notre Dame can look like, be, and will be from here on out. It's that simple for me.
Now, you do agree, though, this is a huge year 5 and you got to deliver. And if you don't make the playoff this year, it is fair at that point to ask some tough questions about where this is all going with the resources we have. Are you with that? Because that's where I'm at.
I'm with that. I'm with that when we get there. I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
as soon as we get there, then we'll go there. You know what I mean? Right now, it's like there's no reason to worry and stress over stuff like that. You know, it's like my boss right here. Look at her. Look at her. She's walking away. Look at her. Look at her. You know why? Because we don't need to be tripping off on dumb shit. You know what I mean? We got to work to do. We got to work. He got to work. Money talks and bullshit walks. How about that?
I like it, man. Yeah, but I'm with you though. It's like we have a couple months yet till we're going to be able to get the data on this year. And that's why I thought it was a healthy time to be able to look at some of the resources and everything. But I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, John. And like I said, bro, like we're not at that bridge yet. I think we just need to calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I think we're getting football dementia and depression and anger and anxiety and all that. But you know what? Football's around the corner. The boys will be back. The one number thing is stay healthy, go into the season healthy, try to remain healthy, and let the chips fall where they fall. Let the cookies come with the crumble. You know what I mean? Other than that, we got no reason to be tripping over that. Let Marcus Freeman do what he did. He wants to be Esquire magazine guy, go for it. He wants to be the president of the United States, go for it. All it is, he's going to be representing Notre Dame, no matter what.
Luis, you're the man.
All right, John, I got to get going, man, because I got to finish this job, and Marcus Freeman has a job to finish as well.
I love it. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Have a good start to the week, buddy. Have a good one. Dude, it looks like he got a space helmet on, man. Looks like he could take off. A couple things here. Number one is Jason, the Alabama fan that is in here like every single day about how great Alabama is, all those titles he has and all this stuff. There's nothing we could say like you dominated the sport for a long period of time and you acquired all those titles and everything. The only warning I'm going to give you is you're starting to get to the point where it's like what Notre Dame got made fun of for, where everything you have to brag about is the old days. I'm just telling you, I am not certain that Alabama arrow is as straight up as it was. Look at that recruiting class. And I know people are saying, I heard they're not going heavy on the high school recruiting at this year, this cycle, whatever. I'm just telling you, be very, very careful. All your bragging and all this stuff. It's starting to be like your arrow is kind of pointing on the downward and that recruiting is kind of on the downward. So you better just be careful about it. So I think you're barely in the top 50 on the latest recruiting. I'm just telling you, you're right that you have all those trophies in the modern times that we don't have. But I'm telling you, buddy, you're going to get into Notre Dame land here where all you have to brag about is the old days. So you better be careful. Clayton, I could really go for some kind of Angus rice. Renee, last caller of the day. What's up? I can't cue it. I can't understand you.
I can't understand you. I can't understand you.
Oh.
What? Oh. What? Oh. What? Oh.
He's at work. Give him a break.
Hey, how's it going? You're working.
He's working when we should be talking about
playoffs. Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
You blew it. All right, maybe that's a good place to end it. We don't have Renee. His stuff's not hooked up. And so that's going to be it. I did not expect this to go off in all these directions today, but you know what it tells me, you guys? People are starting to get juiced up.
Hey, can I hear you?
Yeah, there
John.
You are. What's up?
But I can't hear John, man. Hey.
You got
your
me
mic
or
is
no?
muted. Okay, I got you now. Your mic was muted. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. What's up, buddy?
Okay, real quick. I'm gonna make this real quick, okay? Because
Okay.
look, man. Look, the thing is, bro. I come at dude, bro. He called me out because he said something about me personally a few months ago. Hey, man, and I try to change that new leaf. I'm gonna give you one statistic, man. Okay, real quick. And he talked about something. Why that statistic off the field matters. First of all, we can all do what ifs, right? What ifs, what ifs, what ifs. If Marcus Freeman would have won his first game that he ever coached as a head coach, he would have outdid Brian Kelly in one game, right? Because it was a major New Year's Six bowl, correct? Am I
Yeah,
correct?
it's really
Okay,
interesting.
he would have outdone him in one game, bro. Because he lost by 2 points. He basically even outdone him with a loss, losing in 2 points in the New Year's Six. These are facts, correct? He didn't get blown out in a major bowl, right? That's correct, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Done and done. Second, the other one is okay, the last year thing, right? It's still assault on the wound. Uh, but wouldn't in a different format, when Brian Kelly did have that format, would have he had made, because there was already a memorandum where Notre Dame, and a lot of Notre Dame fans don't know this, that if Notre Dame won 10 games, they would make a New Year's Six bowl. Do you know that? You know that, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so if they would have made a New Year's Six, Planet, it would have been just the four. They would have missed the playoff, okay, or they would have got in. They would have made a New York Six bowl with that 10-2 record. They would have went into whatever the Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, other consolidation bowl, major bowl, other than the national playoff, which was only resorted to four teams, and they would have annihilated. It would have happened, right? Okay, so I mean, let's not forget those things. People forget ththose things. That 10-2, 10-2 is not. But no, hey man, Kelly had the luxury of winning 10 games and getting into those big bowls. Marcus doesn't under the new format. Is that correct? That's almost correct, right?
I believe so.
Sorry, John, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in agreement with that. I mean, and then last thing, man, I know he says the off the field thing doesn't matter. I'm gonna tell you what the strength, one of the strength and conditioning performance team guys said for the University of Oregon when Chip Kelly was there. Remember, Oregon got big because they were winning those big bowls and they were producing those good athletes, and they could get to a major bowl and win. He said, if you think that a player that just knocked up his girlfriend or is going or something going through with his family at home or off the field issues aren't going to affect his play on the field, you're dead wrong. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that you guys have to, me, especially the way I grew up, John. Like I say, if all we give a shit about is winning, what separates us from the other universities? What separates us from Georgia? What separates us from Utah, from SC, from Ohio State? If we don't care about these men after football, what separates us from the other universities, man? Because guess what? You get a promising young athlete that gave his life to this university. Oh, they caught me. Come on, let's go. No, I'm just just kidding. I'm just kidding. John, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Shit. ¿Qué pasó? Hold on, John. Hold on. So one last thing, I'm gonna say this. If we don't care about that, and like I've said it over and over, if money was the only factor, Oregon would get every single 5-star. And the off the field issue thing does matter because you're gonna have to run into a miserable, angry motherfucker like me in real life. And that's what you don't want these kids to be. That's what you don't want these young men to be. Hey, John, I love you, man. Onward, Notre Dame. I gotta go.
I hope you can run fast. Clayton said, these are the guys always breaking into my truck. I'm telling you what, you never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get on this show. I love you guys. This was awesome. A lot of energy. A lot of energy. Chris says, what happens at 10-2 if Notre Dame doesn't make the playoff? Will they skip the Pop-Tarts poll again? I'm telling you right now, 10-2 Notre Dame with this schedule, you're not making the playoff. Can you say I'm all mad? I'm turning down a lower level bowl game 2 years in a row. If you thought it was humiliating to be in the Pop-Tarts Bowl last year, imagine having to do that 2 years in a row. Like, I don't know if you could just do that. Oh, we're too good for that 2 years in a row. Total nightmare. 10-2 is basically 6-6 this year. It's a total nightmare. It can't be. You guys are awesome. I'm surprised this show had this much juice. Maybe it's telling me people are waking up to the football. We're starting to come around a little bit. Higher viewership numbers, like starting now. I think people are starting to wake up to the football. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for the donation. Skater Boy here at the end, $5 hour. When will you go live on Saturday nights? It isn't going to be 4th of July on Saturday. The following Saturday, I'm going out of state to visit relatives. After, I think that's the 11th or something. When I get back from there, we'll start doing some night shows to get this thing, to get this going. Yeah, so that's what we'll do on this Saturday nights. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. Check out the Patreon if you haven't yet. Get the Julius Jones full interview, and we'll see you on Raw tonight with Mike. Have a good one.